got dreams and you know they matter. Be your own boss, climb your own ladder. That moment's getting closer by the day. And you're in the same boat with a lot of your friends, launching ideas you all believe in. The tide's gonna turn and it's all gonna roll your way.
Hey, Dolly does
I have so much energy when that goes.
I know. Zoom.
I'm going to be doing like jumping jacks from now on when it ends.
Hey, Steve, how are you? I can see you're enthusiastic.
Mike Hruby, how are you doing? It's been a minute, guys. I know we missed last week.
Been a minute. We're working on our act. We both got brooms. We're trying to clean it up. We're going to get there. We're having a great time. We hope we're providing value. If you need more value, let us know in the chat. And we're headed into some interesting territory the next month. Oh.
I mean, I can't guarantee it. Neither can Mike, but I don't see that we miss any week leading up to the election.
No,
we need all these weeks to get some things out there.
Right, and we need them too. So we need.
Here's what's going to happen, guys. If you saw in my room, it says please go to Be My Own Boss to watch. And if you're watching on my channel, this is the last time it will be on YouTube on my channel. But every week, Mike and I will still be on the Be My Own Boss channel. So I will put like an hour before, I'll put up a community post saying Be My Own Boss podcast here, and it'll link right to Mike's channel. So on my YouTube channel, you will see it in your feed. So it won't interfere with you, but make sure you've subscribed to this channel. Make sure that you're over there liking the video, because any of you who know YouTube, the algorithm's having a little bit of an issue with us running the same thing every Monday on two platforms. It shouldn't, but it is. And it's doing something to the view counts and things like that. But what I am going to be doing is adding the Facebook group for Rideshare Rodeo, which I haven't done yet for Be My Own Boss. Let's expose a whole nother group of people to it too. So I don't think we'll lose any views out of it. We need to get the views pointed over to Be My Own Boss. I guess that's the takeaway here on YouTube. It needs to have that flow. And that's what we're going to do. So it shouldn't confuse you, but easiest thing, just be subscribed to Be My Own Boss. That way you'll get a notification.
We've got tons of content.
Yeah.
Tons.
And, yeah, I don't know, Mike. How long is it? I mean, did we miss 2 weeks in a row?
13 days.
Okay, we'll just miss 1 week.
So we're gonna.
When we miss 1 week, it's 2 weeks. It's weird.
Yeah, I know. You can't do that. And I want to put some extra stuff in too, little short ones. So exciting.
You guys, that's the other thing too. I've been telling Mike too. Like he's learning StreamYard. He's getting all this down. He's tech savvy enough to do this stuff. He's learning it, and I think he's even almost got it. We're going to run through some things, but he's going to put out some shorts and other things too. So there's a lot of reasons to be subscribed over there.
Yeah.
And if you, by the way, all comments should go over into that video on Be My Own Boss channel so that Mike can respond, or I can respond if I happen to be in here. But especially Mike, because a lot of you guys might have specific questions about something he was talking about. So with that said, we are, how many days are we out from November 5th now?
Wow, it's going to be a month.
I was going to say, yeah,
my calendar is directly behind.
Well, tomorrow's the 1st. There's 31 days in October and then 5. So we're 36 days out.
36 days out. That's right. That sounds like 5 weeks from tomorrow.
Yeah. Right.
And
so
man alive, your vote counts. Oh my goodness.
So the November 4th Be My Own Boss podcast should be a very special one for us. I don't know what we'll do, but Mike and I will figure that one out, because that's going to need to be a big one.
Yeah, if there's still power on and groceries, we'll definitely.
I saw that today too. And before we start, you guys, if you're not familiar, I'm sure everybody's familiar with the flooding that's been going on, but also there's a port shutdown going on. It's supposed to happen at 11:59 tonight. But right before we went live, I got word from a friend in Florida that they closed a port at 11 a.m. this morning. It's one of the biggest ones, and they already went on strike. So I was thinking, with these strikes, a lot of times it's like, well, they'll figure it out at the 11th hour. This one, they already know they're striking. they're striking, and they're already shutting down the things. And I saw 3.8 to like $4.7 billion a day for every day it's shut down.
Can't imagine it.
So it's crazy. But yeah, so I did hear things like, don't worry about Christmas, this, that, and the other. But I also heard, like, worry about produce. We're gonna have a produce issue. So like a lot of issues are coming up, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. we do feel bad for all that, and it needs to be fixed quick. The flood victims, I mean, even Atlanta, geez, and North Carolina, like you were saying before we went live. I even saw that, I don't know if it got to the Biltmore. The Biltmore is a very famous place in Asheville. I've done a couple laser shows there, and it's a really amazing place. It's kind of up on a hill though, so I wonder if they're okay. But I was wondering about the actual Biltmore Estate.
I think there's a support staging area, and or visitor center or something, and I think that's got water in it, but not the mansion itself.
Okay,
that's what I understand. But I'm
right, because that mansion's up on a hill, pretty good.
Yeah, the big,
I guess what you would call a mountain in North Carolina.
Yeah, you Coloradans.
I call it a hill.
If it hasn't got 14 as the first two digits, you're not even interested.
If it's rounded and has grass, it's a hill.
It's a hill.
If it's sharp and the trees ended 2,000 feet before, you're in the Rockies.
Right.
But that said, guys, welcome back. I know we're a few minutes in.
Hey, everybody.
Mike, what is Pennsylvania's from what I can tell, it is the state. We were talking about that before anyway. Yep. Everybody's known it for a while, but it has become even more and more the state.
It is the state. It's huge. It's got 13,000 people. It's got half of it is workforce. Somewhere I've got a sheet on all this. It's got a workforce adjusted by new jobs at about 6.3 million. And nearly half of those, by national figures, are independent contractors. So like 2.9 million independent contractors. They're all old enough to vote, almost, all of them. And that's a lot of people. And we nationally, independent contractors, need to reach out to those individuals and, beg, plead, whine, wheedle, encourage, support them to make video statements and submit them to our website so that we can post them and spread them around and give them the link and make ourselves heard. Because right now you're watching the election fog just sweep over everything. By Monday of next week, there will be some new catastrophe. Maybe it's the port stoppage.
Yeah.
So they're
and guys, if you're going, I forgot the link, I don't remember the link on how to upload my testimonial. Can't do that because there it is right there.
Here it is. Thank you, Steve. Guys, one of the things I have to learn to do is how to throw this great stuff up on the screen as fast as Steve does. So I'll just have to learn to pitch it well. Okay.
But I'm just pointing out, guys, again, if you didn't, hey, here's a 5-second little clip. Take a screenshot right now in case you're driving or you're doing something else, you're working. Take a screenshot and then do it later. You just need to scan this. It will take, and that way there's it takes you right to where you upload it.
All you have to do is you upload it and first name and either big city or state name. We need a zip code, and we need you to give us permission basically to use it in a positive way to support the cause. So it's really easy. And they make a big impression, and every one of them speaks for millions of people just like you, just like me, just like Steve, all of us. So it's something the other side can't do very well at all because they don't tell the truth and they haven't got any sense of humor. Remember Tremaine's, Steve? Do you remember Tremaine's L.A., his video?
Oh, yeah.
On his Irish elf, his leprechaun hat. And he talked... Tremaine
and I did an hour live stream this weekend about his new movie Simp.
Oh, yeah.
And so we got into it, and he was fully Tremaine. He was animated. He was doing all Tremaine things through the whole thing. Guys, just do, and gals, just do what you do to amuse your family. When you make them laugh,
do that. Have some fun. Hey, Xander.
Hey, Xander, make sure to go to click the link if you're in. Yeah, click the link at the top and go over and give a like and a follow to Be My Own Boss. I don't know if I've ever seen you in this one before. But yeah, because starting next week, that we'll be on here we're always on Mondays. It's always 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. We run about a half hour. So, yeah, subscribe to Be My Own Boss podcast. You won't regret it. So anyway, Pennsylvania. And also, what is the percentage of Pennsylvania vote? Do you know what the percentage of Pennsylvania registered voters who vote is?
No, I don't. In a presidential, my guess, I'm just picking a guess out of my old campaigner hat, is that I think it's going to be around 60 to 65%. This is a hotly contested election.
So also then here's my other question. Is that average on states? I don't even know.
If they're kind of bored, as people were in like 2012, I think you can get lower. You can get under 40 sometimes, in which case it's like the lottery. The fewer people buy tickets, the better your chances. So no, it's 2020. It's Be My Own Boss. It should be in quotes, and it will be in the legislation.
Yeah. So. Did it come down? 2020. It's pinned up to the top, or it's the top comment in the chat you're in right now. If you click that link, you'll go to this same live right now over on the right channel.
Thank you.
Yes, that's better. Give it a like and a subscribe, Xander, please. But yeah, let's talk. Actually, that number's way lower than I thought. I thought that you were going to tell me somewhere around 75, 80% in most states.
You can't rule it out. And that's the thing. Even the pros don't know. I mean, a lot of people have opinions, and a lot of people are very experienced, have opinions.
Right.
But all I know is the public's into it way more than normal already. And I don't know where they're finding undecided from. Them recruiting them from someplace I don't know about, and I don't even want to know that I don't know about it. But anyway, I think we're going to.
So, what is the pulse on Pennsylvania? What's going on with women? What do we need to know?
What we need to know is that more than half of the 2.9 million people who we calculate get some form of income from independent contracting. More than half are women, and
you're talking about 2.9 in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Okay, let's just be clear, because there's a lot more in the country.
That is the most, since it's more than half of the independent contractor population nationwide, and because Pennsylvania has so many and are a swing state, 1.5 million women, mostly moms, are working self-employed, probably part-time, and fitting it in. They've either got another job, or this is their main self-employment income, or they're doing it from time to time, like not in the summer or something like that. Anyway, everybody in Pennsylvania is, who's working is good. Actually, even if they're not working, if they support it, tell them why the household likes it. Mm-hmm. But to be clear, the place to start is with the women, because the women have the most to lose if the other side, the anti-independent contracting side, wins in November. And that's really crucial. No one's going to be hurt harder than moms, period, because moms have such a very difficult time equation. It has to be a little bit of this and not too much of that, and it has to be completely stoppable, minute by minute control. Mm-hmm. So, and all these women know that, but it's not the kind of thing where they keep it as a standard against it, just like flexible time. They can't deal with more than one boss, and they already have a boss with their family. They have to respond to their family's needs, especially their kids. So they understand on some sort of spinal instinctive basis, they've got to have control. And that's exactly what the other side wants to take away. They actually don't want women in the workforce, but they've relied on women's votes for so long that they can't actually whisper it. So they use something like this to divert everybody's attention. So call, text your friends, your married friends, your couples, parents in Pennsylvania, and say, can you guys get a little bit involved for 5 minutes with a video saying why you prefer independent contracting? Then you must know somebody in Pennsylvania. And that's the person to ask, because if 30 people ask from this video and they know 20 people in Pennsylvania, that's 600 asks. And if those people ask their friends, then we go exponentially up. The other side cannot get this kind of talented defense of their position that independent contractors can get, because everything we do has got to be true. That's how the only way you can survive in our business.
So, Mike, you know that Bud Soda is Fort Drum, New York, upstate.
Yes,
but he just moved to Pittsburgh.
Aha.
So you know what, Bud Soda? We have a video from you, but let's get another one.
We'd love one. Very dramatic lighting, by the way, on the earlier version that we used that. Love it.
But Bud Soda, seriously, do another one now that you're and speak about Pennsylvania. I'm in Pennsylvania now. This is crazy important.
Thanks for mentioning that, Bud Soda.
Yeah. I guess my thing, hey, what's up, Ron? How are you? And Traveler said it too. Aren't you in Pennsylvania now? Yeah. So I mean, Bud Soda, like even you, reach out to other people that you might be running into, because all day I know you work 12-hour days, run into gig workers everywhere. Tell them that the future of their pay is at major risk. Yes.
This is serious. I will, Steve, can I give my short testimonial?
Yeah.
I had a wonderful career back in my previous era, my earlier life. And I was self-employed. I employed other people. I had employees. So I followed, all the law, and they all got paid super. We were consulting, and the U.S. government, with a law that you've heard about, Sarbanes-Oxley, put all of that, my work and 10,000 other business development people, out of business completely in the summer of 2002. I was just starting. My oldest girl was just starting college. I was facing 16 semesters of private college education consecutive. I had no income. I had effectively no savings. And not only my business, but my entire profession was gone. And that's what every independent contractor is facing. And I said, when that happened, I said, I am not going to let anything do that to anybody else again. Like, my career got finished. This is round off for me. Yeah. I don't make any money, but I really did back then. And all of you that are working hard, doing well, and I know lots of you all over in all kinds of professions. There's nobody I respect as a class greater than self-employers. They're honest, They're hardworking, they're reliable, they're everything good. Anything I trust them with everything I have.
And I would even validate to anybody going, well, wait a minute, that's a bold comment. I would validate that comment about independent contractors by saying that, look, these are people that clearly do work the hardest. And don't be offended if you're not one. I'm just saying that nobody goes out and starts a business who isn't a hard worker. Just doesn't happen. Nobody does that. I'm going to go start my own business. Like, dude, if you're not a hard worker, there's no reason to even try.
Yeah. You're better off, just continuing to enjoy it. I know lots of people who are very happy as employees.
Yeah, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying that, and even those, I know people in auto plants who work there their whole life. That's hard work. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you're working around the clock. You're working when you get home. You're working in the mornings. You're working on the weekends. You're doing anything. Somebody quits, you're filling in. Everything is on you. So the people that want to run their own game might just be them. It's still just on you. But if you're going to have other people, they're on you. So
So we're trying to alert these people in Pennsylvania to the fact that everything they are working hard for and proud of is being threatened, and they'll take it all away. I mean, Steve and I were talking beforehand about what DoorDash is doing with creeping W2ism. Like, that's going to happen everywhere, and you're not going to be able to respond. Neither I couldn't respond. There was nothing I could do. You can't get back at anyone. You just lost it. It was taken away, and the same people that did that with that act are still in office in the federal government, trying to take away independent contractors' occupation across the board. So this is serious. We can fix it. We have way more power than they have, but they don't want to acknowledge it, and they don't want to stir us up, so they do it very indirectly. Been there, done that. So help us out.
So
yourself out.
Trying to keep it nonpartisan. Here is a question that I am very curious about, Mike, because you know how, look, here's me being a nonpartisan question maker to Mike here, because when it comes to women in Pennsylvania, let's say that you really you're that involved, that you know what needs to happen, you know how you're going to vote and stuff, and you're in Pennsylvania and you want to try and how do you reach them? Because and I'm not trying to be, I'm just speaking from what I think to be true, most of these women are voting blindly.
As far as the independent contractor issue.
Yeah, but just down the board, they just are like, well, I vote this way. Well, do you know that right. is? Like, how do you reach the? Because I bring this up because I know that this isn't fake news. This is real news that this and other elections have too. But this election is really putting some divide in families and friends. And
well, there are a couple ways to look at it, and it has to do with your vote. A vote is that you can vote for someone. And that's what everyone encourages you to do. But it's your vote. And the other side, remember the coin analogy, the other side of your vote is that you can vote against people. And sometimes that's the most important value. Like, there are a lot of presidential elections I don't really like either one. No. So sometimes I vote for someone, but if I don't like either one, then I vote against somebody. But I always get the bigger half of the value of my vote. And right. For people who have, let's say, voted another party and find themselves in a conflict, I would say just this one election, vote for yourself and for your future, which you can do with the voting against. And you use that. You don't have to tell anyone. That's why we have secret ballots. You don't have to announce it. You don't have to do anything. Definitely don't want political comments of any sort in these videos.
No. No political comments.
We're not
obviously no religion, but also we've said this before, be positive.
Be positive. Right. This is
a must.
Entirely. And
you can't be mad. You can't be angry and be like, this sucks. And I want to be, no. This has to it has to be like, my name is Steve. I live in the Colorado market. I prefer to be an independent contractor because it allows me the flexibility I need to do the work I need to do and to take care of my family. You can keep it that simple.
Right. All I want to do is...
Or add anything you want that applies to you.
It puts the color in it,
I was just saying that's just a good boilerplate, though. There you go. There it is.
Well, let's think of the people we know in Pennsylvania. Bud Soda's in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a big place. I have no idea if he's in the rural areas around it or in the downtown or in the inner burbs. But there's an enormous amount of Pennsylvania population in the small towns throughout the state, all four corners. That is a densely populated state. It's beautiful. You do not want to get into a situation where you have to move out of Pennsylvania to find work. You don't do it. It'll make you cry, period. You just want to retain the freedom you have. You need to talk to people on that kind of personal level. This will drive you out of business. It will drive you out of work, and you will look around in your small town, if you're talking to somebody in a rural area, and you will have to leave because there aren't any good jobs like you want to do it within the diameter that you can afford to go out and work there for 3 or 4 hours. That's why we want to appeal to moms. They don't have any other choice. Their kids are in school. They're trying to bring up, their husband's got a job. Get serious. This is a time to look closely at that vote and say, I could use it this once to vote against someone who is going to ruin my job this winter. That's how quick it's going to happen. I guarantee it. They got rid of, we say this every time, they got rid of the head of the NLRB the first day in office. They hadn't even slept on it overnight. Gone. That same thing's going to happen. Hey, independent employees, good afternoon.
So that's our friend Roy in Las Vegas, and he's been he's been saying independent employees for a long time for the gig app people.
Yeah.
But I told him about the piece I sent you too, that I'm going to be doing this podcast on this new W-2 DoorDash program. And it kind of validated him. So now I think he's running a victory lap.
The simplest thing for everybody here, I love to see everybody's name. It makes me feel terrific. Pick up your phone, look for the people in your directory who are in Pennsylvania. Text them. It's like, are you aware of what's going on with independent contractors? Something easy. Like it's going to happen this election. Are you aware of it? Don't talk about any candidate names at all. Everybody's already steamed about.
So if you texted me that, here, let's just play it out, and I texted you back, no, why?
Steve, did you know what's on the menu for the the co-conspirator of the most pro-union president ever? Is they're going to eliminate independent contractors and unionize us all as employees? And you'd go, what would you say?
Well, if I knew the numbers I'd say, well, there's over 70 million independent contractors and there's only 180 million people working in the United States, and 70 million of them are independent contractors. So how the hell does that work?
Well, I think the answer is they're planning on most of them not finding work and being desperate. And they're going to set up a giant new form of unemployment insurance, which of course they'll tax people to pay. And they'll pay you a stipend for not working, which sounds great until they let you know that it's only going to be limited and it's to this and to that. And they're going to be, winners and losers, and it won't be very much money. You're not going to be able to live on it. You can't count on it because people are going to fight over it. It's going to be horrible. And you still won't have your profession. You won't have your job. You won't have the people that you work with that you love. And there won't be any bosses, good, bad, or evil. You're going to have no bosses. You're going to be unemployed. And I've been there, done that. I hate it. I hate it.
Bud Soda's saying the SEIU is pushing very hard, and he does clarify here. He's talking about app-based gig workers, but
yes.
I would even argue the SEIU is pushing for all independent workers.
Yeah. I think so, but they probably know that there are going to be some difficulties up at the lawyer, doctor level. But I mean, the SEIU's organized, the medical profession down, at the bed floor grade. So, the more the merrier. Charge them more, they'll say.
But I guess to conclude that though. So are you? Because if we put this advice out there and it changes even a few minds, great. But if people are calling, it shouldn't be a call like, "Hey, who are you voting for?"
No. Don't ask who they're voting for. Ask them if they're aware of the threat to their occupation. They will listen to that question.
Right, because money, the port shutting down now, the cost of living, all these things are so ridiculous that's where you're going to catch their ear.
Right.
Because they can actually relate. Even if they're like, I know how I'm voting, I don't need to talk to you. Well, I'm only asking you about this. Do you know about this?
I'm asking, are you aware of this? And I'll bet most people are going to say, Well, no, because most people I talk to don't know, and many of them are very sophisticated about politics. They had no idea this kind of threat is out there. They're W-2. So, if they say, well, I've got a perfectly good job with some chemical company in Pennsylvania or construction or something, say, well, there is a threat. And do you have friends that are independent contractors? Oh yeah, the guy next door to me is a consultant or a trainer or a coach or something. And they're people bump into independent contractors all the time and don't notice. They just because we don't wear a hat that says independent contractor. But that's something we should consider, Steve.
I mean, I guess my thing too that I would argue on the W-2 side of it too. Like, let's say you are in Pennsylvania and you have a W-2. And you're like, I have a W-2. I work for this petroleum company. I'm all good. I've been all good for a long time. If somehow you axe the 70 million independent contractors that work in this country, that's a lot. Maybe not all of them go back into the workforce. Maybe some of them early retirement or go back to retirement or whatever. But the ones who do need to be in the workforce, doesn't that create such a amount of people that actually pay would decrease on the W-2 side? Potentially.
Well, many of them
what they hire in at, like maybe they hire in at 50 grand a year. Now it's 40 grand.
They can't. They're not going to put full-time people in where they've had part-time casual people. They won't know how to integrate them. Like I was in strategic planning for product development. You don't need them every day. Matter of fact, guys said, yeah, we love to, every 4 years we have you for for our multi-year planning cycle. So that's a long time to wait. They never hire that kind of skill. The rest, anybody who's involved in emergency services or peak capacity or specialty or any of that stuff, no permanent employment. You're just not they don't need it. They won't be able to, they'll figure it. They say, we'll figure it out when it happens. So, they're not going to pay that. So the labor supply is going to shrink enormously, which is, of course, helps the unions because the unions are going to require them to stuff their pipeline with people they don't need.
Yeah, we got you. Come over here.
Yeah. So, yes, of course, what happens is you're going to get paid more in a society that is decidedly poorer and has fewer things available. So what are you going to do with the money if there isn't anybody to make what you're looking for?
Yeah.
So, did I answer that?
No, you did. I mean, I'm trying to figure out if there's where that path is to get to those people, because so many people are just beyond closed-minded.
Right. Well, if you have, talk to Doris or Jan or somebody like that, and she just shuts you down. No, I know who I'm voting for. I don't care. We'll figure it out.
You mean Karen?
Yeah, Karen. Yes. Then okay, great. Thanks. Hope everything goes well. Say hi to the kids, etc. And just text somebody else. Call somebody else. It's okay. You know people in Pennsylvania. We're going to get to these people. We're going to be amazed.
Just again, don't call and be like, "Who are you voting for?" or make it political out of the gate. Just talk about independent contract, like business, make money, how you earn.
This is economics. It has nothing to do with politics, and politics shouldn't be involved in how you work. But unfortunately, politics is. So you have to kick politics out of how you work so you can go back to work. We don't have elections like this anymore. But you got to send a message.
All right, guys, we've ran out of time here for the week. We will be back next week. One more time. Here's the screenshot, you guys. I'm going to give you a 3, 2, 1. Okay, take that down. Mike and I will be back here next week. And until then, have a safe week. Start getting loud, guys. October is tomorrow.
Right.
This is it.
Everybody's listening. Just got to get our voices out there. Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate it.
Have a great day. Have a great week. Be safe, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Well, you got dreams and you know they matter. Be your own boss. Climb your own ladder. That moment's getting closer by the day. And you're in the same boat with a lot of your friends, launching ideas you all believe in.